What is up, you guys? I am finally back from my week-long amazing vacation to the British Virgin Islands on Norwegian Cruise Line's Escape ship. I wanted to make this video just because I wish I would have watched a video as far as like what to expect with this ship. I've never sailed Norwegian before. This was my first time. I did previously go on a Royal Caribbean cruise for the first time ever this last February. And then prior to that, I have always sailed on Carnival Cruise Lines as well as Princess Cruise Lines. Kind of wanted to give some pros and cons in case you're thinking about going on Norwegian Cruise Lines or thinking about going on the Escape. To start, I figured I would go with the pros, and I literally made a list of stuff. Number one, the food was actually really good. We dined at the Taste and Savor dining rooms as well as the Manhattan dining room on the ship, and then we did eat at the buffet for some breakfast and lunches. The buffet during lunchtime was absolutely nuts, like jam-packed with people, but the food was good. I was a little disappointed in the fact that there was not a salad bar available every single day. I found that kind of strange, but whatever. Also, we did dine at the premium steakhouse. So on this ship, there are several restaurants. There's teppanyaki, Italian. I think there might have been a French restaurant. There is also like an American diner, and then the steakhouse, which you can pay extra to eat at. And when we booked with Norwegian, our kind of deal that we had booked was that we would get a free dining credit for one meal at one of the premium restaurants. So we went to the steakhouse and the steak was absolutely amazing. And if you do decide to eat at the steakhouse, I would highly recommend sitting outside. We had a beautiful view of the sunset while eating dinner and it was gorgeous. One of the other restaurants that they have on board is Oceans, and this is a 24-hour restaurant slash pub. The food there was good. It's more snack sized stuff, but if you want a late night snack, it's good, or even just like a mid-afternoon, something between lunch and dinner, it's a good place to go. Sadly, that is like all the pros that I have for this cruise. I was so sad. All the ports were beautiful, but as far as this video, I wanted to just talk about strictly the ship itself and what my experience was and what my thoughts were. So now getting into the cons, and this was extremely disappointing. I was really hoping to love Norwegian Cruise Lines just because this is the most expensive cruise that I have ever paid for myself. Cruise was about $2,500. That did include flight. There was an excursion credit with that, the dining credit, the drink package. We did not have an internet package for the week that we were on the ship. We only had 80 minutes of internet for the entire week, and that did not include any kind of streaming. It was purely just texting and like checking emails, but I mean, personally, I don't really do that anyways. The first thing that was pretty disappointing was when going onto the ship and embarkation day, you had to pick a time in which you were supposed to arrive to the terminal to start your check-in. And we arrived right on time with my parents. And let me just say that the terminal was absolutely packed. We waited in a pretty long line outside in the humidity, and it was a hot mess. And there's also something with Norwegian, you can pay extra. It's called Haven. At one point we were standing in line and people were trying to, I don't know if people were like trying to cut or accidentally cutting in line, but there was no signage as far as like which way the Haven people were supposed to go and which way just like regular cruisers were supposed to go. It was extremely disorganized. Compared to my experience with Royal Caribbean in February, that was absolutely amazing. Check-in was so fast. We did not have to wait in hardly any lines. For this experience compared to Royal, I was pretty disappointed. Now, as far as the ship itself, I was not impressed at all. The ship felt extremely crammed. The main kind of area on the ship is called the atrium, which was kind of cool. It's like a 2-level thing. They had a lot of shows there going on. I felt like there was always some kind of entertainment going on in the atrium, but they also have their guest services located there, as well as like the internet help desk, and I think something as far as like booking reservations was there. And there was so many people here all the time. There was also a bar in this area. Just the feeling cramped kind of never went away anywhere on the ship. There is one adult pool and one children's kind of play area and pool. The adult pool was extremely small. I will tell you that the entire week that we were on the ship, we did not once get to go into the pool because there was constantly people sitting all around the pool. When talking to other people, they said that the pool was 7 feet deep, so you couldn't even stand in the pool to like enjoy it because it was so deep. Like there was jacuzzis that looked like they only fit about 5 people. It was very, very odd just compared to my previous trip on Royal Caribbean in February. There was jacuzzis everywhere. They were huge. So just a little disappointing with how small the ship felt with how many people were actually on board this ship. Whenever we tried to go to a comedy show or to go see like the karaoke, we could not get a seat. It was jam-packed. I mean, there were so many people crammed into such tiny venues. It just seemed like they overbooked the cruise, to be entirely honest. It was nuts. Most of the time when I have cruised, I have always had extremely good customer service. Bartenders have always been super nice. Like room stewards and stewardesses are always so nice. I was so disappointed with the lack of customer service from the workers on this ship. I will say that there were a select few that were just exceptional. And for example, our server in the Manhattan room, his name was Christopher. He was amazing. He told us that he had actually worked for another cruise line for 20 years and had just recently left that company. And when he asked for us to guess where he was from, I guessed Royal Caribbean, and he said yes, that's where he had come from. I will tell you that the first bartender that we met, or encountered rather, was the second that we got on the ship. We went right to a bar to get drinks. You know, we just sat down and my dad looked at the bartender and was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And the bartender's response was literally, "I'm busy." That was it. No, like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm busy. What can I get you to drink?" Like, nothing. Just very flat and super awkward. We did have a bartender kind of like throw straws at us. There was a very, very few select bartenders that were really, really great, that are your like typical cruise bartenders that are just like so talkative, great, have great conversation. You get to know them throughout the week. Another con with this trip, and I hate that I'm complaining so much about this because I had absolutely no complaints with my cruise in February, so it makes me really sad that I have so many cons for this one. We had to move rooms our second day on the ship. Our first morning waking up in our room, we were woken up at like 4:30 in the morning to just banging on the right side of our room and as well as like the back wall of our room. We had let customer service or guest services know. We had the deck manager come to our room. We explained the noise, said to just notify them whenever the noise happened again, which it did keep happening. Just this constant banging. It sounded like someone was taking a wrench and like banging it on metal. It was so loud. Luckily, we were able to move rooms. After we moved rooms, we did not have any more noise issues. I hope that if I ever sail Norwegian again, that it is a much better experience. I did fill out the post-cruise survey and express my concerns. The biggest concern that I had for this ship, which is so disgusting, and I know that it wasn't just me because my dad smelt it, my mom smelt it, Gabby smelt it, and after posting about it on TikTok, I did have people respond in the comments saying that they also had this issue in cruising on this ship. Every single bathroom smelled like cat litter. None of the bathrooms had air conditioning. They were all hot and there was like no airflow, and they all smelled really, really bad. Pretty gross when you're on a ship with that many people. I'm sorry that this video was so negative. I promise I'm not a negative person. I just wanted to share my honest opinion in case you happen to be going on the ship or thinking about going on the ship. This is your warning. I gave you a heads up. Anyways, if you guys want any more cruise content, let me know. I would love to talk about the ports that we visited. We had a great time at the ports. We had a great time off the ship. And I had an absolutely amazing time on my cruise in February on Royal Caribbean. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and if you feel like it, subscribe.